Do you care if your sandwich costs someone their life? Do you care if the woman in your bed is someone's wife? Do you care where things go when you've thrown them away? Do you care if someone gets upset because of things you say? Do you care that people suffer just because of where they live? Do you care that others die because you take instead of give? Do you care that folk are bullied for the colour of their skin? Do you care that someone has to lose for you to get a win? Do you care about the workers who make the things you buy? Do you care the choices that you make could cause someone to cry? Do you care about another soul, or only for yourself? Do you care if doing what you do affects somebody's health? Do you care what kind of person you've turned yourself into? Do you care that if you don't care, nobody cares for you? Hey big man in the pub with your mates, telling your jokes, sexist and crude. Meanwhile at home is where your wife waits, keeping it tidy and cooking your food, laying the table and setting out plates, desperately hoping you're in a good mood. Hey big man at work with your friends, full of banter, entertaining the crowd, while your wife at her job smiles and pretends, still happily married, she's saying out loud, dreading the time when the working day ends, scared to go home. Does that make you proud? Hey big man, home watching the sport, laughing and joking to conceal the ruse. Your wife sat beside you, silent and fraught, anxiously hoping your team doesn't lose. No one to turn to for love and support, wondering how she can hide the next bruise. Hey big man, your weakness is showing, the strength of your wife is bearing the brunt. You can't hide forever the punches you're throwing, the strength of your wife who puts up a front. The day will come when everyone's knowing the strength of the woman who married her. Couldn't you see the terror was growing, the fear of a fox when faced with the hunt? That fear's grown to strength from the seeds you've been sowing, the strength of a woman who lives with a cunt. The world is in a mess, so much suffering and pain. I don't know if I'll ever watch a news programme again. Dictators invading and they don't care who they kill. Refugees escaping but they keep on running still. All these things that make me cry will never go away. But I escape them for a little while when I watch kittens play. Slavery still happens even in this day and age. Racism and prejudice are still making front page. Misogynistic, homophobic tendencies are rife. Every being known to man has suffered from his knife. When children ask me why, I just don't know what to say, except to turn the TV off and watch some kittens play. The climate is collapsing and the world is on its knees. Common sense has been locked up and no one has the keys. The leaders of the world only care about themselves. Compassion and humanity are no longer on the shelves. It's happening every minute, every hour, every day. The only way to cope is if you're watching kittens play. When nature emptied out the can and tipped us all onto her plate, she didn't have a preference of which of us she ate. She enjoyed the different flavours and the colours of our skin. We were a variety of mixed beings. It said so on the tin. Some landed in the middle, they were deemed the lucky ones. Some landed on the edges and were barely hanging on. Some missed it altogether and were destined for the bin. But we're a variety of mixed beings and we all came from just one tin. Imagine the horror of losing your home through no fault of your own. Everything's gone. No one to turn to and nowhere to go. A tale of woe. You've hit a new low. Some people are living that now. Imagine the horror. Your family are lost. Lives have been tossed. It's the ultimate cost. No one to help you and nowhere to go. A tale of woe. You've hit a new low. Some people are living that now. Imagine the horror of losing your nation without expectation, a nightmare vacation. No country wants you, you've nowhere to go. Tale of woe, you've hit a new low. Some people are living that now. In a world full of riches and smug-looking pictures as rich sons of bitches, we all still begrudge them and think we can judge them for losing it all when it wasn't their call. And you don't want them here, but they won't disappear and they make you feel culpable, selfish, uncomfortable. And you know fate has robbed them, but it isn't your problem, so why should you care for them over there? Imagine instead all the things that I've said had happened to you and your family too. Alone on the street with nothing to eat, your children are starving whilst your chances are halving of ever being found in your hole in the ground. Or you take to a boat in the desperate hope that someone will give you a lifeline to cling to, but it's only a token. The lifelines are broken and there's nobody there because it isn't fair. But if it was you, would you want them to care? This child is Billy. Though born with a willy, she knows that she's a girl. Although she's tried, the girl can't hide. Her head is in a whirl. It's not a choice. She had to voice the feelings that she had. Her parents laughed and called her daft. A stupid little lad. This faithful wife has had a life as normal as the next. She played the part with all her heart, as people would expect. But deep inside, she's cried, and here's the reason why. Her whole life long has been so wrong. She ought to be a guy. The young man there with the wavy hair has realised his fate. His life as male has been a fail. Instead of Ken, she's Kate. She's grown some breasts and wears a dress so everyone can see, and when she can, she'll lose the man she wasn't meant to be. Uncle Clive is 95 and always lived alone. His funny ways and things he says have left him on his own. He's so confused and just not used to the life he's had so long. He feels the shame, though not to blame. His gender came out wrong. Ali Joe just doesn't go for he, her, she or him. So that's why they identify as only they or them. Neither male nor female, entitled to their say. Accept it or reject it, not your business anyway. Please understand this if you can, and don't be quick to judge. It isn't fun to mock someone, so give your heart a nudge. We can't conceal the way we feel, it's not something we choose. If trapped inside, no need to hide, you have no time to lose. We can't select, but can reject our gender after birth. It's how you feel that makes it real, and gives your life some worth. So call a halt on your default assignment if it's wrong, and every day, live life your way. You sing to your own song. The man on the street, with his hat by his feet, is asking for some change. The woman walks past, her pace getting fast to take her out of range. The teenager spits in the place the man sits, and calls him an ugly name. The school children laugh as they come out the cafe, and join the spitting game. The man looks down, he feels like a clown, he's trying not to cry. The shame he feels for begging meals from people passing by. A person stops, a pound coin pops into his empty hat. His heart still sank, he nods to thank and gives the ground a pat. 12 months ago, this man named Joe was living with his wife. They ran a bar and had a car. They had a lovely life. Then COVID hit and life went shit. Their marriage went to pot. With no more work, she took the Merc and left him there to rot. His heart was broke, he couldn't cope. The bank took back his home. He had no friends. He had no one. He was homeless and alone. So here he sleeps and sometimes weeps in doorways on the street, fielding bricks and random kicks from late-night drunken feet. Now and then he sees the men who used to drink his beer. With eyes downcast, they walk right past, as if he wasn't here. And once or twice he'd see his wife out with another man. That's when he felt his heart would melt and crumple like a can. So this is Joe, with nowhere to go, and he's just one of many, who walks the streets with worn-out feet, begging for a penny. Some people care, but most just stare and wish that they were gone. But it's only chance and circumstance. It could be anyone. What if, all those years ago, we didn't win the race, and another, stronger species evolved to take our place? They had the skills, they had the brains to dominate us all. We didn't get the chance to grow. We had no chance at all. They learned to build, they liked to kill, and humans were their prey. They hunted us, they tasted us, we couldn't get away. They ate our flesh while we were fresh. They even wore our skin. They took our seed and made us breed, whilst murdering our kin. As time went on, They grew more strong and we remained the weak. We had no choice, we had no voice, they bred us to be meek. Terrified and broken, we did as we were told, for we were only children, had no chance of growing old. So good was our taste, they left no waste, they used up every bit. Our hair made silk, our mother's milk was taken from the tit. They had their fun, they made us run, their children rode our backs. They cut us wide to look inside and hung us up on racks. Once we're grown, though still so young, we're taken on the road. With prodding sticks and vicious kicks, we're forced to join the load. From a life in chains, the hope remains that we might be set free. We didn't know that we would go to meet our destiny. Now off the truck, and just one look is all that we will need. The smell of fear, the sounds we hear from the children in the lead. We wait in line. Now it's our time. They hit us on the head. Our throats are cut. They hang us up and leave us till we're dead. Now they farm us by the billions. The whole world demands our meat. We're killed in such large numbers, so much more than they can eat. They feed us on the plants that should be fed to their own kind in the starving third world countries that have all been left behind. The land they use for our abuse is killing off the world, yet still they breed and murder all the human boys and girls. We won't be free until they see the error of their ways, or failing that, the planet cracks and takes us all away. Fuck you if you look down on the colour of a skin. Fuck you if you think an abortion is a sin. Fuck you if you think that hitting people is okay. Fuck you if you hate somebody just because they're gay. Fuck you if you victimise the helpless and the young. Fuck you if you see the act of bullying as fun. Fuck you if someone's hurt because of things you do. Fuck you. In case you missed it, what I'm saying is, fuck you.